It's probably the number one barrier to success and happiness. Fear. How to break through fear for once and for all. We're breaking through some barriers today. Fear gets in our way in so many ways, and there are different kinds of fear. Have you noticed? Fear of rejection. That's one of the big ones. Fear of failure, which is closely tied to fear of success. You know, it's interesting. We kind of identify with the fear of failure. It's like, oh, I'm afraid I will fail at that. But really, success is one of those things that we haven't yet experienced at the level that we could. So it's unprecedented. We've already failed at stuff, so we know what that feels like. I wonder sometimes if the fear of success might get in our way even more than the fear of failure. That's kind of weird, but that's psychology. At another level, there's a fear of not being enough or not being able to handle something. In fact, that's an interesting point. There's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Dr. Susan Jeffers, I love that title. She identified in that book that at the root of every fear, all of the ones that I've talked about, fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of not being enough, all of those fears have at their base, at their roots, a common belief. And that belief is, I can't handle it, whatever it is that I'm afraid of. I can't handle that. That has a natural trigger for our brain's fight or flight response. This is a natural defensive mechanism that your body has. It originates in your brain and in different glands of your body, where you experience a threat, and your brain, in order to keep you safe and keep you alive for another day, triggers chemicals into your bloodstream that prepare your body to do one of two things: fight or flight. Either put up your dukes or get the heck out of there, because you've got to survive to live another day. That fight or flight response is what we subjectively experience as fear. I remember having a conversation with Tiffany Peterson, the amazing Tiffany Peterson. You can connect to the video that I did with her right up there in that card. Cue it up so that you can watch that one next, about conquering your fears. We got into this discussion a little bit. Now, going back to the fight or flight response, sometimes that response is triggered by irrational thoughts or beliefs. And all I mean by that is that you don't have to be in actual danger in order for your brain to kick in all those chemicals that we refer to as the fight or flight response. A great example is when you go to the movies. Have you ever been in one of those movies, you know, where it gets kind of intense and you find yourself gripping those handrests on your chair? Or my wife laughs at me because I dodge stuff in there. And it's not even 3D. What gives? Well, there's a part of your brain that does not discern between a real threat and a perceived threat. And it kicks those chemicals into your bloodstream either way. This gives us some clues as to what we can do to break through the fear. Now that we understand a little bit about what fear is, where it comes from, let's get into the specific strategies that we can employ to break through that fear. Going back to the fight or flight response, one of the first things that we need to do is calm the brain. And I mean specifically that part of your brain that's triggering that fight or flight response. It's freaking out and causing chemicals to flow through your bloodstream, which are causing the feelings that you're having. So we want to calm that part of your brain down. The quickest way I know to do that is breathing. Slow, focused breathing. In through the nose, hold briefly, out through the mouth, nice and slow. You do a few of those breaths, and it actually triggers some things in your brain that reverses some of the physiological cues that are getting all of that chemistry hopped up in your system. So do some slow, focused breathing. There's other things that you can do too. Meditation or mindfulness are great. yoga, exercise. These kinds of things will help you to calm down your brain's fight or flight response. And that's important because the next thing that I'm going to share with you has to do with thinking. And you're not thinking when you're in fight or flight response. In fact, we've got brain scan studies that prove this. When your limbic system, when that part that controls the fight or flight response is really fired up, there's actually a decrease in blood flow to the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain that handles logic, rational thought, compassion, empathy. All of those awesome higher cognitive functions tend to be housed right here in the prefrontal part of your brain. Well, that part gets shut down a little bit when you're in fight or flight response. This makes sense. If you're being attacked by a bear, what are you going to do? Sit down on a stump, think it through? No, you're bear chow if you do that. Your brain knows that, so it shuts down the thinker in order to maximize your probability of survival. This is a good thing. Your brain loves you, doesn't want you to be bear chow. I told you I'd give you two strategies. Calming the brain is one. That just reverses the physiology. Now we got to get to the thinking part. Some of your thoughts are actually creating a sense of threat, which is triggering the brain's fight or flight response. We have to work on the thinking. And the most simple way to do this is to answer the what if questions that are causing your fear. The most simple way that I know to do that is to answer the what if questions that your brain keeps asking. You know, the ones that are triggering all of that fear in the first place. There's one answer that we're going for. I can handle it. Remember, the belief that's causing the fear in the first place is I can't handle it. Well, that's not even true. You've got 100% track record so far. You've already handled absolutely everything that's happened so far. Isn't that awesome? Why would that ever change? Of course you can handle it. So we answer the what if question with a new answer. And the new answer is I can handle it. It doesn't mean it would be fun or that you'd want to sign up for it. But at the end of the day, you can handle it. You know everything you need to know about fear to break through and get on top of it. Sometimes it would help to have a little coaching. And we've got some available for you. I would start with the Positivity Powerup. Go link to it in the description, positivitypowerup.com, where you will find some resources. This is a self-study course that will walk you through the psychology that will help you to not only get on top of your fears, but to create and live a life that you love.